So I first started with equipment. Women's side of Giant Bicycles, Liv, donated over 60 bikes. Before the bikes were delivered, I got the chance to ride with the girls. And it was probably the best day that I've ever had in Afghanistan. I can easily pinpoint the worst days I've had in Afghanistan, and this by far is the best. This is Miriam. This is, his assistant, his right-hand woman, and she is the strength of the team. She is tough as nails. She's been run over by a motorcycle. She has crashed numerous times. She has been called every name in the book. She's been insulted multiple times over the past 3 or 4 years that she's been riding bikes. These girls, this is the Afghan highway coming out of Kabul, are doing this with great risk. But they're doing it not just for themselves, they're doing it to inspire other girls to ride. So I hired a little truck, brought all the bikes, bussed in the girls to the province of Bamyan, and we rode out. We did a few laps around the city to kind of get the feel of the bikes and played with the idea of riding together for the first time because we didn't have to watch out for potholes. We weren't, avoiding cars and trucks. And we looked at, okay, what's it like to ride in a peloton tight? What's it like to draft off of each other? What does that mean? How does that work? Lessons for me as well as a mountain biker, not a roadie. And the girls started to look like a team. For the first time, they were riding together. And while there's barriers between me and Afghan men that are eliminated when I ride a bike, the barriers that are also there between Afghan women of just, a little bit of quiet, a little bit of distance, kind of formality. When you're on a bike, that is out the window. These girls are singing Bollywood tunes and dancing on their bikes and shaking. They're joking, they're nudging each other, they're nudging me, they're shouting, teasing coach, acting like any other girl. And I get to be part of that in a way that I've never been able to connect with Afghan women and girls. Nazifa is studying to be a midwife and is wanting to work to save women's lives and children's lives, but she also wants to compete in the Olympics. And the reason that she says that she wants to do that is not for personal gain, it's because she wants to show the world that Afghanistan, and this is her words, is more than drugs and violence. She wants to show that there are opportunities. And it comes back to everything I've ever seen in Afghanistan that keep me going back and keep me believing that change is possible, because her face kind of says it all, that hope is always more powerful than fear. All of them have said at multiple times, because I've always checked in with them, one, as don't continue to do this just because I'm supporting you. Make sure that you're doing this because this is the risk you want to take and because you love it, and I will continue to support you, but you're never letting me down if you don't want to do this anymore, if for some reason the security changes. And every single time, each one of them have said, change does not happen by staying at home. They realize that they are on the front lines. They realize the risks they take, much more so than I could ever understand. I get to go and come back here because I have a passport and I have a child here and this is my home. What's been really heartwarming for me has been, while the team is doing amazing things to break open this taboo, what's really phenomenal is there's 2 or 3 groups of girls that are learning to ride bikes without a coach, without any male influence, maybe a brother here and there. They're banding together and riding bikes in an effort to change it on a social level. Their specific goal is not to race. Their specific goal is, it takes boys 20 minutes to get to school. It takes us an hour or an hour and a half. That's not fair. We should be able to ride bikes too. And so what happened in Bamyan was I was back there in June, and I rode with 2 girls who were riding bikes and wanting to teach others to ride bikes so that they could get to and from the women's university because the bus line had stopped. In September, nearly 40 girls took to the streets with T-shirts that said "Right to Ride." And Mohammed, who's one of the men's national cycling team members, was part of this. And it shows that men are a huge part of this equation, that men and boys need to be supporting women and girls. They need to be working together, and that they are working together. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite photos of that ride. There's an incredible quote that has really stuck with me. And I think that it really represents the work that I do and how I feel about this whole campaign is change happens when those who are unaffected are as outraged as those of us who are. And that's what it takes. It's about realizing that it's not always personal, but that you need to be outraged and that we need to band together to believe that hope is more powerful than fear and that change is possible, no matter where that is. Thank you for coming.